9440. 4405. 944405.
All right, welcome back for another week of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping us lock up the bad guys. I'm Chris Wright, along with John Garlick, our Chief Deputy here in Calhoun County.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing, John?
Excellent. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
I'm sure of that.
Hey, as far as I know, I haven't gotten scammed lately, so that's a good thing.
So, yeah, there's lots of scams. Ironically, it's like Consumer Protection Week, too. So the Consumer Protection Agency is available for folks to talk to. But, yeah, there's a new Medicaid cards are coming out, apparently. So if you've got a new Medicaid card, it's going to come in the mail. It's coming in the mail. Nobody is going to call you to tell you your Medicaid card is ready. It's just going to show up. So if somebody calls and says your Medicaid card is ready and you need to go to Walmart and get a green dot card, don't do it. It's a scam. They're not going to call you on the phone.
Anybody that tells you you need to go to Walmart and get a green dot card, I don't care what they're talking about, they're trying to scam you.
That's a big red flag, and it's sad. You know, we still have that scam going around where they call you and say, hey, this is, you know, Captain Wood from the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office. You didn't show up for your court date, and you need to pay us $1,000 to clear your name. Go to Walmart, get a green dot card. No. Don't do it.
We had somebody else that got hit by that recently.
They did, and it's really sad. He came down and to the sheriff's office to find out about it, and that's where he learned that, yeah, you were scammed, and we can't get your money back for you. So he was out $2,000.
Wow. So
they're taking advantage of people that have never been involved with the criminal justice system, so they don't know. I mean, they don't know, and you know, these folks, and they're calling from other countries, they're getting phones. I mean, I don't know how they do it, technology, but they're not people that are living next door to you. These are people out of the country, out of the state, certainly.
So extremely limited in what we can do locally or anybody else really on a national or international scale.
Right.
It's very hard to catch these guys once you've given them the money, so just don't do it. Don't give them any information, certainly don't give them any money. And you can give us some information. We've gotten 4 more arrests this week.
We have 4 more arrests. To keep giving us information because we use it to catch these people. So our count is 4,127 people brought to justice by concerned citizens in Calhoun County. We love it.
All right. Well, we've got more bad guys we need your help with, and we'll get to them next when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Aisha Hobson. Miss Hobson, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for a failure to appear on possession of marijuana second. And this is Christopher Hill. Mr. Hill, last known to be living in Ohatchee. He's wanted for failure to appear on illegal possession of prescription drugs. And meet Fedrian Perry. Mr. Perry, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for writing multiple worthless checks. And have a look at Brian Blair. Mr. Blair, last known to be living in Ohatchee. He's wanted for failure to pay on manufacture of a controlled substance. And meet Shanika Crook. Miss Crook, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to appear on domestic violence third, assault. And last up in the first half of our lineup, Nicholas Wilson. Mr. Wilson, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to pay on possession of marijuana first. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
All right, we'll have some more bad guys here in just a few minutes, but right now we want to talk about something positive in the community. And John, I understand that when you were in college, you were a scholarship basketball player, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I played for Yale.
You may have gotten dunked a few times, but you never did any dunking.
I was their practice ball. That was what I was.
But we do have a basketball tournament coming up that the Sheriff's Office is going to be a part of.
We do. The Sheriff's Office is pulling a team together on which I will not be playing because they don't need a practice ball. But we got some guys here that are part of some other teams that we're going to beat at some point during Thursday's competition, right?
The trash talk begins.
All right, so Anniston PD and Anniston Fire represented here, and you guys are a big part of this tournament. Why are we having this tournament? This is an important tournament. We're going to have fun, but it's for a reason that's not really fun, isn't it?
Yeah, the tournament is going to be in benefit of Wesley Lyons. Officer Jerry Lyons of the Oxford Police Department's son is dealing with some leukemia right now, and we're just looking for a way that we can help out.
All right, so just pitching in, everybody doing their thing, even if you're not the greatest basketball player in the world.
That's right. That's right.
And we'll have a tournament, and everybody can come out and watch it and contribute, and just find a way to lift spirits and raise some funds at the same time, right?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great event. They've decided not to charge admission at the door, so anybody and everybody can come out and watch and participate, and they're just asking for whatever people are able to donate at the door. So, come out, enjoy it, good atmosphere, and whatever you're able to give, that'll benefit this family.
And all that money goes to benefit. There's no cost coverage for anything.
Correct. Nobody will be paid. There will be no expenses except for going toward the family and what they need.
All right. So how seriously are we taking the preparations here?
This is very serious. We actually had a meeting this morning, and we're playing it on Thursday night, this Thursday at the Oxford Civic Center, and we're trying to deal with time constraints and getting everybody home in a decent hour during the week. So we were kind of at first going to end up playing just a couple of games here and there, but we finally come up with a 4-team tournament. So we'll be able to have the Sheriff's Office, we'll have Oxford Police, Oxford Fire, and then Anniston Police and Anniston Fire are going to play each other to fill that 4th spot in the tournament. And we'll have a 3-hour tournament, and winner take all.
So, cops are used to not getting home on time. I don't know why that's an issue. Must be something for the fire department.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So is the 3-point line that going to be college or pro?
Look, do you see how big I am? I stay down low. I don't fool around with 3-point line.
It's going to be full contact.
I'm sure there will be a lot of fouling. Chief Sparks with the fire department told me we all had to check our guns and tasers at the door. Those would not be allowed.
Is this going to look like the Harlem Globetrotters against the Washington Generals, or?
I'm not sure which one of those is the better team, so I'm not going to take one of them.
All right, so the Anniston Fire and Anniston PD, you guys are going to be battling for a slot in the tournament. One of you guys are going to make it in.
Correct. Anniston Fire is playing one game and going back to the house.
You agree with that, Chad?
I don't know. I've not seen them play. We're going to worry about the sheriff's office for the first round. We'll see from there.
Oh, boy.
Oxford Fire will be squaring off with the sheriff's office in the first round. And then Oxford PD will play the winner, or they'll play Anniston PD in the first round on that side.
There you go.
So it could be the sheriff's office against Anniston PD. That's exciting.
I'm really excited.
Are you excited about that?
I am.
I am too. I'm glad I'm not going to be on the court.
Do we have any players that we know of that are going to be the guy to watch?
I don't know about all that.
As far as Oxford Fire goes, we're going to save that for Thursday night.
That's right. Yeah,
okay.
we're keeping the game plan tight to us.
Yeah. Can you like hire people to come play for the team?
I'm not going to tell you how much money we've already spent on players. But
Is there any kind of a trophy or anything, or are we just doing this for
this is
for the benefit?
strictly to benefit their family. We didn't want to take any expense toward trophies or anything like that. Now, we are very competitive, and it's going to be a good event. We're trying to win, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about getting them some funding and taking care of that family.
Facebook bragging rights for a whole year.
And that'll be on Thursday night, which is March the 8th, I think, and at the Oxford Civic Center. What time does it start?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. So, basketball fans, you might want to avoid it, but people who don't know the game of basketball and don't know the difference between good and bad, just kidding. It'll be more entertainment than it will be pure basketball.
It will be. It'll be great. You know.
I've been to a few of these games before where you get different local teams in there, and even if the basketball's not great, the entertainment value is very, very high.
Absolutely.
There you go.
It'll be a good time.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll talk more about why this tournament is happening when we return on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Tequila Hickenbotham. Miss Hickenbotham, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for reckless endangerment. And this is Kenneth Williams. Mr. Williams, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for writing multiple worthless checks. Take a look at William Barfield. Mr. Barfield, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for a bond revocation on forgery, third. And have a gander at Willie Smith. Mr. Smith, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to pay on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Keith Dover. Mr. Dover, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to pay on theft of property, third. And last up in our lineup this week, Schaefer Griffin. Mr. Griffin, last known to be living in Talladega, he's wanted for bond revocation on possession of a forged instrument, first. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know whereabouts of these folks, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number 238-1414.
All right, more crime fighting coming up in just a few minutes. We'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show. We'll also have our Crazy Criminal of the Week in just a few minutes. But right now we're talking basketball, John.
Basketball. Yep. That's where basketball.
We got a couple more guests joining us now.
We have guests.
Yeah, guests.
We have guests.
To talk about this tournament coming up on Thursday night. Gentlemen, go ahead and introduce yourselves for the viewers.
I'm Kyle Price. I'm with the Anniston Police Department, our baller team, if you will.
Brian Waits, captain at the Uniform Patrol Division of Oxford.
And I understand you're going to be playing, but you're not.
Absolutely not.
You're like
I
me,
will be
right?
providing security.
There
we
you go.
go. Got to have some
And we
good
need
security
that.
there.
We need that because, you know, those fire guys, they get excited and they get out of control.
All right, we've talked some about the game itself, but let's talk about why this tournament is happening. Give us a little insight into what's going on with this family.
Jerry Lyons is a uniform officer with us. He does our park police. If you've been to our parks, you've probably seen him in our parks. On December the 19th, his 3-year-old child was diagnosed with leukemia. I believe it was B-all leukemia. And this all occurred right before Christmas, so we've really been pulling for Jerry and trying to support him. We've raised a little money to try to help him along. You know, that's a very costly process. By the time you travel and the food and gas and everything like that, so we're trying. But also to make the situation a little worse, his wife has been treated with cancer too. So this is all going on at the same time, so it's really affected us.
I'm sure it has. I was just, before I came down to the TV studio, I was working on paying some bills, and I opened up a bill from the company that did some lab tests when my son had a little stomach issue going on, nothing serious. I'm like, dang, $33. That's, you know, every bit affects a family's finances, but when you start talking about two people in the family dealing with cancer, and finances shouldn't be what's on their mind.
Right, and you know, like I said, it struck right at Christmas time, so you know, we tried to pull together to help the family at Christmas and all, because they had a lot going on, traveling back and forth. I believe he was diagnosed on the 19th or 18th, and the next day he started treatment. Wow. So very quick. So it's awesome that everybody's pulling together to help him.
And we certainly hope that there will be a lot of people that make some donations when they come in the door. But as we mentioned earlier, it's free. If you just want to come in and cheer them on, that's part of it too. Because it's not just the money that makes a difference. It's knowing that the community is there to support you, right?
Absolutely, and we want to reach out and support the community as well as being part of the civil service groups that protect the community. We play in a lot of charity events for some of our local civic groups and things like that. And when Oxford reached out to us to play in it, we couldn't be more excited to go down there and play in this tournament as well.
Notice he throws that we play in a lot.
We do.
Yeah.
If you're filling out your bracket at home, take note of that statement.
Our team is, you know, they may not have played together ever, but they're going to be tuned up and ready to go.
Now, are you going to have uniformed individuals, or are you going to be looking through the inmates and see if you can find anybody
any inmates there,
played in college or whatever?
But we've asked them to wear their professional NBA uniforms because that's how much we care about this game. We've recruited some of the best players in the NBA to come down and compete against
Or some of those 1970s NBA uniforms. That would be fun to see.
Ooh, they might be 1970s players.
So you guys been practicing a lot to get ready?
Unfortunately, our bodies don't hold up like they used to, but we have been practicing a lot. Heard that some of the people from the Oxford Police Department were trying to duck us in the tournament, so we had to actually go down and have some talks to get us kind of where we hope we meet up for them in the tournament, because there's a lot of smack talking that goes on behind the scenes and some pride issues in there too. Where
I can't believe that.
That's why you
it
tell
happens.
security.
It happens.
That's why.
Now, is Oxford limiting practice time at the primary facility, or?
I can tell you we've not been invited to practice on the home court yet. No, we have not.
Yeah, see how it is.
We've been down there. No, we haven't. We haven't. Our team hadn't even picked up a ball. I mean, that's
Practice time's about done, though. Thursday night is the night, so are we ready?
Hopefully we're going to practice today and then take a day off. That's going to be much needed. We probably shouldn't practice today either, but you know, we're gluttons for punishment. So
Who's bringing the ibuprofen?
we've been on a pretty strict regimen on it already. Yeah.
So again, it's at Oxford Civic Center Thursday night. What was the time again?
Starts. I think the gates open at 5:30, and everything's going to get kicked off around 6 o'clock.
And we won't play full NBA length games, right?
Hopefully not. If I have anything to say about it, we'll probably dwindle that down just a little bit.
So it starts at 6 o'clock, but you know the fire guys are always late. So
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll let them forfeit if they show up late.
All right. Well, guys, good luck. Thank you for getting this together and doing this, and we hope that a lot of money is raised and goodwill as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when John and I come back, we will have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show and our Crazy Criminal of the Week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask your help on these cases. First up, on February 26th, this home on Boiling Springs Road in Ohatchee was burglarized. They got away with an Xbox One, compound bow, television amp, and subwoofer were also taken from that location. And sometime on February 27th, this home on Kirksey's Bend Road in Ohatchee was burglarized. They got away with a television and a bunch of DVD movies. And last up on your caseload this week, on March 2nd, this home on Alabama Highway 77 was burglarized. 2 televisions, an Xbox game system, speakers, and a DVD player were taken from that location. And that's it for the Crime Stoppers portion. If you know anything about these cases, and we hope you do, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number, 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
John, I know that you've had some folks during your career that decided it would be a good idea to run when they are being told to stop.
Yeah, that happens.
Is it ever really a good idea?
It's never a good idea. Never a good idea. You might as well go get a green dot card, because it's just as bad an idea.
So we've got a couple of individuals that got busted for shoplifting, but they weren't actually in custody yet, and they decided to make a break for it, took off running.
Yeah.
Climbed over a fence.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a rush like this, you don't read what the fence says. The sign that says Peoria Police kind of eluded their attention. So they fall over the other side of the fence into the parking lot of the police department.
Well done.
So
We appreciate that.
that worked out all right for the police, but it still doesn't keep them from getting additional charges, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, they're still attempting to elude, but at least they got caged up. That's really cool.
And again, it almost always comes back to making poor decisions.
Yes, making very poor decisions. Impulse control center of the brain doesn't mature until you're about 26, and then later if you're doing things like drugs. So yeah, bad decisions come with poor impulse.
Stop, think, and do what the officer wants you to do.
Yeah, if we tell you to do, stop.
All right, that's all the time for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup or climbing over the fence of the sheriff's office on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.